Okay, so we are down here live underneath the bridge, Del Rio International Bridge here in Del Rio. We are walking right now with the county judge right here, and this is Senator Gutierrez, and so we are seeing this firsthand. I'm going to spin this around for you again. We're wearing masks. There are several communicable diseases that have been confirmed. We know there are hepatitis cases, there's tuberculosis, there is AIDS confirmed cases, COVID of course, and cases of the chickenpox as well. So this is a live look right now. We are looking at about 13,000 plus immigrants here still awaiting transportation through the Customs and Border Protection Agency that will transport them to various facilities across the state of Texas. So we already know that some of those facilities are already at capacity and maxed out already. And so we are continuing to watch this scene unfold here. This has now been days in the making. This has been something that has grown, obviously. Just for some perspective, the mayor last Friday, over a week ago, said there were about 100 people under this bridge, kind of sounded the alarm, said that there was some concern, obviously. And now we are at this juncture about 13,000 immigrants still waiting, most of them from Haiti here. And they've had a lot of different things that could really impact why they're here. A lot of people are asking why. Well, over in their country, they have had assassinations of their president. They have had an earthquake. They have had a lot of economic issues over there as well. But, you know, for some perspective as well, the judge, the sheriff, everybody I've been talking to says these people have known how to get across here. They have seen the border crossings for the last 9 months. This has been a crisis for about 9 months here. They have been sounding the alarm in Del Rio that they have an immigration issue here. They have about 250,000 immigrants year to date right now, aside from this, okay? So we had about 15,000 immigrants come over in the last week here. And so what I can tell you is that last year, they had 25,000 immigrants for the entire year, okay? So they were already dealing with an influx of people in their really small community and trying to deal with this. Well, now, this is literally in their back door. This is underneath the Del Rio International Bridge, and again, this bridge here is closed off. This bridge connects Mexico and the U.S. A lot of people that I've been speaking to are over on the Mexico side, and they are American citizens living with family members or just living over in Mexico. They have visas to come here to work. They're not able to come over here to work right now. So there's a lot of economic impacts here for the local community. Restaurants are closed. We know that some grocery stores have sparse supplies on their shelves as well. So there are a lot of impacts to the local community as well here. And again, you're looking at, 13,000 people, all, for lack of a better word, corralled in this fenced off area, okay? This is not a very big area for 13,000 people. I'm gonna step over here and just show you a little bit more of how far and vast and long this scene really carries out. So again, communicable diseases have been confirmed here. We know there are cases of AIDS, hepatitis, tuberculosis, chickenpox, and COVID. We can also tell you that nobody is being tested for COVID here. There is no vaccine here either. The reason they know about these diseases that are present is because the one hospital here that is already overrun are taking in some of these immigrants, some of them going into labor, some kids have been unresponsive, some people have just had other issues that they're dealing with. So, I'm sorry, what was that? So I'm going to step back a little bit so they can discuss and talk. I have been working embedded with these county law enforcement and lawmakers, and so it is of utmost sensitivity and importance that we maintain those relationships and partnerships as well. So again, though, you are watching this scene unfold live. We have all hands on deck here. We have additional resources. 210 Texas DPS, which is the Department of Public Safety here, very similar to a highway patrol situation. They were all deployed over here. Well, that means that those people were already deployed through Operation Lone Star, working throughout the state because of the border crisis before this scene, okay? So those people are all now here. That means miles and miles of the southwest U.S. border are unmanned. They have closed several checkpoints to bring resources here. This is a look at the resources around this area right now, okay? So all of that area is now pretty much unmanned here because those resources are here working to make sure that this community is safe that this is a contained situation. So this is a scene right now. And again, we have National Guard here. Of course, we have U.S. Customs and Border Protection are here. The Sheriff's Department is here. DPS is here. So we have several agencies here working with boots on the ground, trying to make sure that this situation doesn't become one that is out of control. I mean, you guys, this is impossible to deny. This is anything but a humanitarian crisis. There are babies. There are littles in here. Look at that little girl. Hi. Look at her with her Minnie Mouse shirt on. I mean, these are human beings, right? This is impossible. This is an impossible situation. As the sheriff said, the administration's got to get off the bench. And it's hard to not have this hit you in the heart when you look in their eyes. I mean, these are all God's people, right? Hey, sweet girl. Yeah, this is really hard, you guys. So this is impacting the local community. This is impacting them. This is a crisis. There is no way to say that this is something that has been happening. This has not been happening in Texas, y'all. This has not. The immigration has always happened. Yes, immigration has always happened. For some perspective, a normal year, they see about 400,000 border encounters across the state of Texas, across the southwestern border, okay? Right now, we're surpassing 1.4 million. So that's that situation as its own, okay? That's the border crisis we're dealing with on a daily basis. This is new. I've had people come and talk to me and say, oh, well, they can handle this. This is something they deal with all the time. This is absolutely not anything anyone would ever be dealing with. And this is inhumane. I'm sorry, but it is. These people, look at this. Just look. Okay? This is no bias, no nothing. Just look for yourself. Make up your own mind. Share this, though, because there are still people that apparently have no idea this is going on. Hi, thank you, guys. And just so you guys also know, too, all of these workers, okay, they are being exposed to various communicable diseases as well, and then they go home to their families. You know, a lot of them aren't tested. We know a lot of resources have been pulled in to put out different areas that the law enforcement can sleep. We know the county fairgrounds has opened up. They have 100 beds that were available for law enforcement. They were working on an additional 300, so that 400 will be available altogether. And so we are looking at some space for them. And then Customs and Border Protection is allegedly going to be opening another area for law enforcement to be able to stay, because they're coming in from all over the state here. Law enforcement is. This isn't just Texas that are out here. This isn't just Del Rio. This is all over the state. And again, this hasn't been declared as a national emergency or anything like that. Now, we have had a state of emergency declared here by the governor. Governor Abbott has put out, of course, Operation Lone Star has been supplementing these guys and working with them for the last 8 months. However, again, all hands are on deck here. All of those resources are here now to help with this crisis. So as you see, the Customs and Border Protection are here. You can see just how, I mean, it's shocking, okay? And so you can see back in the distance over there that they have kind of like little shanties that they've built. Now they're using the river cane, and it's very similar to bamboo, okay? It's like a very similar kind of material, so that it's strong, it's durable, they're able to make shelters out of it, okay? So that is what they're getting a little reprieve from the heat. We're looking at almost triple-digit temperatures out here. It's dusty. They're trying to do everything that they can, but again, I mean, this is a makeshift city. For some other perspective, the city of Del Rio is 35,000 people. There's 13,000 people right here. Okay, and so right now, again, the bridge is closed, so people aren't able to come here to work. I was just told that somebody over on the other side needs dialysis. They come here for treatment, and they can't get over here. There are a lot of implications here, and a lot of things that we need to be mindful of here. And so you're seeing a scene play out here. This is being told this is going to be weeks. Again, I mean, they can get them out on buses. They're doing that. They're transporting them as efficiently as they can. DHS is apparently sending 3 flights to send these people back to their country of origin. And so these folks, right now, okay, just another fact here. These folks have only been interacted with to be given a ticket with a number on it. They have not been detained. They have not been processed. There is no information about them at all. They have a number. And then from that number, they'll be separated and put on buses and taken to different border processing facilities throughout the state. Now, if they're a family unit, they'll get 1 ticket, is what I'm told. If it's a male and a female, and they do not have a child, they will each get a ticket and potentially be separated, and they might not meet up on the other side. So, this is a really, really tough situation. I mean, it's impossible, right? It sure feels like it being out here. And again, they're briefing with the senator right now so that he can really grasp the magnitude of this situation. So if you guys have questions, I can try to answer some questions if anybody has them. Obviously, I've been embedded for weeks. I've been working on this for the last 2 months directly with the sheriff. We've been speaking every single day. I have had updates on this situation for months. And so, you know, it went from a border crisis to a humanitarian crisis with this isolated situation here. And I think, you know, yesterday it was interesting because the sheriff and the captain of DPS put out a statement talking about this, and one of them called it an event, and a lot of people got really upset. And we were talking at dinner, and I asked why it was called an event, and it's a really tricky thing because if you call it a crisis and you're an official, that can create hysteria, that can create problems. So they're also walking a fine line out here, and they're doing their very best to keep everybody safe, keep everybody informed. And these guys are tired. These guys are tired. It's hot. They're maxed out. And so are these folks. So are these 13,000 individuals with little babies and women and children too. So now I shared a post from Bill Malugin. He's a Fox News reporter, and he has been out here since, I believe, May. He's been out here. So he's been out here covering this extensively. And he shared a post. So if you need more details, they removed several adult males. Already yesterday was a priority to get a lot of those adult males out of here. And so it's a lot of family units still. There are still a lot of adult males. The other thing to express as well, we were with a congressman yesterday, Austin Pfluger, and he was talking about how he has requested the known terrorist list from the Biden administration several times. He said they've been poking them, they have been putting pressure on them, they have been trying to get it, but for some reason they said that the administration will not release that information. And so that's another piece of this. We don't know who's in here, and you know, it's like I said, they have a number. We don't know names. We don't know a lot of things. And as much as I would love to be able to go over and talk to people, it's too sensitive. You can't do that right now. But I can tell you that the sheriff, when we first got here, spoke with a gentleman who is from Haiti, who said that he had started his journey a year ago. He was traveling, and he would walk until his feet hurt, and then he would work and save money, and then walk until his feet hurt, and then he would work. And he finally made it here a year later, and he said he couldn't feed his family, and that's why he was here. So there are a myriad of reasons. Like I said, there are economic factors. There are they had an earthquake. That's a environmental factor, and then they had the president was assassinated. So they have their own issues as well. And it is not my job to judge why they're here. That is for a judge to do, or the border protection. So I can also tell you, you can see kind of like pathways, you can see people walking in that direction. A lot of people have broken out of this camp and kind of created other shelters and camps further off in the woods so that it's kind of safer for their families and things like that, because this is a lot of people in a really small area, right? So some families and different people have parted off and kind of made little camps over in the brush past this area. So nothing's stopping them from walking out of this fence, okay? That's another thing, nothing. The thing that is, if they get caught, then any of their chances of staying in the U.S. are gone. So that's why they're still here. And they aren't leaving, because the second, if they get caught as an apprehension, then they have no chance to stay. And right now we're being told that, they are going to be sent back to their country of origin, but to my understanding, they likely don't know that. And they're kind of trying to keep that a little bit close to the vest, because that could create hysteria. They don't have enough people to contain 13,000 angry people. Right now, they're being fed, they have water. I mean, shelter's a very loose term here, but they don't have a reason yet to be, to revolt, and we hope that it stays that way, because this is a city still, right? This is in a community of 35,000 people. Again, we are seeing massive economic implications already in just days that this bridge has been closed. People aren't able to come here for work. So tomorrow, obviously, is a Monday, so it will have different implications for businesses and things like that. So we're keeping an eye on this as well. That Weir Dam that they were crossing is now closed off indefinitely with a partnership through Mexico. They worked that out to close that crossing. However, that doesn't mean that people aren't coming in across other areas. As I mentioned, most of the agents that were here for Operation Lone Star that were already manning the border are here now. So there are people coming in from other areas across the border right now. The cartel and the coyotes know that the borders and the checkpoints are unmanned and closed. The only checkpoint, to my knowledge, that is open right now is 281, which is up in Brooks County, which is the oldest and busiest checkpoint in the state. So right now, again, it is all hands on deck. We have a lot of staffing. As you just saw, that whole line that walked by us, were all adult males. Okay, so they're continuing to separate that group from this massive group. So again, and they're not being called out. The Border Patrol's not coming in here and saying, okay, all the adult males, come on, you're coming with us. What they're doing is they're getting a number, and that's how they're being separated. And so they also have to be mindful of keeping women and men apart, right? Because you don't know who's in here. Family units are susceptible to, vulnerabilities and things like that. And again, I mean, there's different reasons why they're here, and there's different ways that they got here. Some of them, obviously you have to either take a boat or a plane to get here from Haiti. You can't walk from Haiti. But you have to keep in mind too, a lot of these folks, they kind of have that open opportunity to come. It takes a while to make that journey. And when you're fixing to leave your old life, you sell everything that you have. So you probably have some resources to be able to get here. And then there's also sponsors and families that help out as well. Judge, how are you doing?
We're doing good, and you?
Doing good. So this is Judge Lewis Owens. He is a county judge here, boots on the ground, has been sounding the alarm.
I will tell you that
Let me get this
right
mic
now,
closer to your mouth here, sir.
We're trying right now, I can tell you, we're trying to get the word out. More people that know about it, the better off we all are.
Do you feel like people are like that? People are paying attention?
I think we've got a lot of federal government attention right now. I think we've got their ears. With what you're filming, with what you're showing, it doesn't do justice as to what's going on. They can't see behind on the other side of that fence that there's another 600 or 1,000. A couple of days ago, we were at 12,155. 1,800 were taken out. One day, the next morning, we were at 14,600. That's after the 1,800. We did hit 15,000 at one point, and a little bit higher. Right
Can you
now,
raise that to your mouth a little bit closer?
Yeah.
I think it's stuck to me here, but I think I can kind of get it. I just want to make sure people can hear you. Hold on, let me unplug really quick and get that out. Live streams, this is how we do it, right, Judge? Okay, so I just want to make sure people can hear you. This is obviously vital. Okay, so now, Weir Dam closed. Has that had an impact?
well, the thing is, though, that it slowed down the flow here directly, but now we've got them going a little bit further down, getting out and coming back up. Okay, so it has slowed down the flow. We appreciate the state, help in doing that. But I still have 13,000 people here. that have tickets. We don't know how many people are back here in the bushes and in the limbs and the trees. But those are the 12,900 of the individuals that have already walked up here, have got a ticket, and are fixing to get processed and taken out. The DPS or Border Patrol right now is shooting for 3,000 a day to be removed. You know, best case scenario, if nobody else shows up, I'm sitting there 4 days. All right, and we get the question. We get the question about the bridge. All right, and like I said earlier, we're losing money every day at the port on tolls. I've got maquilas that are losing thousands of dollars. At some point, we'll be in the millions that they're going to be losing. I can't afford for them to lose contracts. But the closing of the bridge with all these people down here, it was a security reason to do it. I'm okay with that, and I agree with it. But how do we get it moved? How do we open the bridge? We need to remove these people from underneath here and get them out of the bridge, get them processed, get them back to their point of origin, their country. And if we begin to do that, which my understanding is those flights have already started, those flights will continue. But if we can get these people back to point of origin, get them to Haiti, wherever they're from, and then it's a deterrent for them to keep coming. If I know that I'm going to do this trip and then I'm going to be sent back, I won't come.
What about like the human factor though, where a lot of people say, well, they had to have a really hard life to go through this, and that's kind of that other side, right? And that's a tough one to wrap your head around.
It is. You don't. But there's so many different facets. There's so many areas of this. None of us are heartless. We're all human. We don't really want to see this. We don't want them to see them go through this. But the rules that we have in place, my opinion, they should be, if they're going to come across, you should be sent back. All right. There has to be another process, though, a speedy process for them to ask for asylum. The best number that I've ever heard of those that are asking for asylum right now, the highest number that I've ever heard is 12% that will qualify. That's the number that I'm hearing, 7 to 12. So let's pick the highest number, 12% of everybody that's been asked to, and those are the ones that actually show up to their court date. We don't even know who doesn't show up, or we do know who doesn't show up, but then we can't find them. But we've had, that I know of, at least 5 babies born in the last 4 days. Okay, one of the families, the baby, the mama, everybody's COVID. Okay, so then you end up, the federal government sent an individual health authority down here to look. They're concerned about diseases, the spread, and it's a legitimate concern. You asked me right now about
10 months.
The health, the humanitarian side. I'm not trying to be callous. I'm not trying to be just a real asshole, but it's difficult for everybody else, and to see this, I get it. You want to help them. We need to do it in a legal and orderly fashion. That's all I'm asking. ¿Verdad? We can't have this and then just say, just because you're here, I'm going to turn you loose. That can't happen. Okay.
Now, Judge, when I was talking to Congressman Pfluger yesterday, he was saying that they were requesting the known terrorist list from the administration, and the administration won't provide it. What do you think about that situation, and is there any concern there?
Well, it gets back to, if you're going to let them in, then you should be taking care of them. I don't care, and I'm going to get heat for that one. I'm going to get flack for that. But these people are still human. I really don't believe they should be here. I don't think they should be allowed to cross. If they're crossed, then we ought to send them back. But they're here now. So what is it that you're going to do for them? ¿Verdad? To help them. And I'm not saying help keep them. I'm saying help them while they're here until we get them back to where they're from.
Now, the other side, too, is the economic impact, right, of the nation, not just Del Rio, but this is all being paid for federally for a lot of the support. So what does that mean for taxpayers?
I've got, as of this morning, I have, they're bringing in on the state level, we're talking 250, 400 more. I've got the people in blue, the people from the port, they're bringing in another 100. You've got National Guard, they're bringing in a couple more 100. You got Border Patrol fixing to bring in 500. Who could even add that up? And really, is that number going to be true or not? Because I don't think you can put a dollar amount on it. I think, it's going to be just enormous.
Yeah, and Mayorkas put out like a 6-pronged plan of
I
what you
saw
guys
that.
are doing with DHS. So they're obviously, trying to react now. They weren't being proactive. You guys have been asking for help for quite a while. So this is a reaction, not being proactive, just putting that out there. But with that, what else do you guys need from the administration? We've got flights coming. We have more resources. What do you need? Do you need a national emergency? What do you need?
That would be the first thing. You can't really fix something unless you realize there's a problem. I think now they're realizing it. You need to throw more money at it. And that's what it is. It's going to be all about the dollars. Buses and people, it's all going to cost money. You're going to have to throw more money at it. And then there has to be a deterrent. At the end of the day, there has to be a deterrent not to come. The deterrent is to send them back. And it's that simple. I mean, you can't say we're going to process them, we're going to turn them loose, I'm going to start flights right now, we're going to do this for a week, and then they go away. That can't happen. If you started the process, we applaud you, we congratulate you, keep it up. Get them out.
I was hearing Governor Abbott yesterday talking about how that is a big concern, right? Because if this is setting the tone, then what's to stop more people?
Oh, no. There has to be a deterrent. Once you start the process of flying them out, you got to continue. ¿Verdad? But, again, we're not heartless. The ones that are here, we need to do a better job taking care of them. And I'm not blaming Border Patrol or whatever. This is at the national level. It isn't something that these guys can wave a magic wand and throw fairy dust on it and they can fix. If it was, they would have already fixed it. Okay?
Absolutely. All right, Judge. Thank you very much. Okay, so we're going to continue to walk around here. Let me get my mic back on. Going to continue to walk around here as Senator Gutierrez is seeing this for the first time. As Judge said, it's multifaceted. There's so many layers to this. But you don't understand the magnitude until you are down here and feel it, and you see not very many law enforcement individuals manning a really big crowd of people. And again, past that fence line back here, this line right here that you can see, there's more people. He's at 600 to 1,000 people are back there. And that's, people have broken out of this big group because, these people are standing shoulder to shoulder. They're in really tight quarters here. And you can see they've got some shelters built back here, got some areas. So we are definitely continuing to watch this. He just confirmed that number is 12,900 are ticketed. Okay, and he said a lot of the ones that are back there behind that fence line, they don't have a ticket yet. And so if you guys are just joining, some perspective here, these folks that are in here have not been processed, they have not been detained, they have not been apprehended, they have hardly even had any contact with law enforcement other than to get a number. So when they crossed that Weir Dam over the last week, that Weir Dam is a low-level dam, okay? It's a low-head dam. It's about knee-high water. It is very dangerous because if you go off the other end, officials tell me their drownings have happened and things are really, really sensitive out there as well. But so that dam has since been closed off. That crossing was closed off, and that was that steady stream of people that we were watching cross the water there. But as Judge just confirmed, people are coming in down the way and coming over here. So just because that crossing is closed doesn't mean that the flow has completely stopped. But again, we are seeing communicable diseases here that have been confirmed, and the way those are being confirmed is because of a multiple of ways. So if people go to the hospital, there's one hospital here, it's already overrun and it's maxed out. But if they end up at the hospital, maybe they're unresponsive, maybe they're sick, maybe they're in labor or hurt, then that's when they're being tested. And what I can tell you is the judge tells me that we have AIDS, hepatitis, tuberculosis, COVID, and chickenpox. And you've got all those communicable diseases. These people are in those close quarters. And so that is one thing to keep in mind. Another is, as he mentioned, there were 5 babies born here. Mom's COVID positive, the babies are COVID positive. They are not doing COVID testing here. Del Rio had a contract to do COVID testing. They had a private contractor. Last month when I was here, the sheriff told me that the contract was pulled for reasons unknown, and that has not been reinstated. No vaccines are being offered in this area either, and nor have they been for any of the immigrants that have come over the last 9 months. So again, just for some perspective of what we're looking at. So there's Sheriff Joe Frank, Judge Owens, county lawmakers and leaders here working hard. And again, a lot of these people go home to their families. They don't get tested for communicable diseases. They're, a lot of them told to even double mask up because they don't know what they are being exposed to. And that's the concern for these folks that are working out here. They got to answer the call, right? Protect and serve. So they're here working, and they're here protecting the community. And they have reassured us and reassured me to let the community know here that this is in fact a situation that, while it's not under control, it is contained. They have a perimeter set with Texas DPS, which is the Department of Public Safety. They have more than 210 of those troopers that arrived yesterday. And so those troopers have since secured the perimeter around this area to make sure that the community here is safe. People are a priority no matter where they are. These people are a priority as well. They're feeding them, they're keeping them safe. They are doing their very best to make this a humane situation. A lot of people, looking at this right now, it's a shock, and as it should be, because for some reason, the nation still doesn't know that this is going on. They think that because Texas has always dealt with immigration, that this is the situation. Yes, okay, so we're gonna kind of walk back now. We're finishing up our tour here a little bit, but they always have immigration here. Always. That's the thing. Our country is built on immigrants. Every single person I've talked to says immigrants should be here. Immigrants should be here, but they need to streamline an immigration process so that we know who's in our country and so that it is a feasible process for them. This is not what they have been dealing with for the duration of this Texas being a state. Never have they ever dealt with a situation of this magnitude. At one point, there were 15,000 people in this area in a city of 35,000. Not ever has Texas dealt with a situation of this magnitude. So, yes, they deal with immigration, but just to break down some numbers, from the Del Rio sector alone, which is an area that was dictated by Customs and Border Protection. It's a couple of different counties combined. Last year, they had 25,000 encounters. That was a pretty typical year. This year, they're at 250,000 and climbing. That is their border crisis without this situation, okay? So this is not something that is normal. Please understand that. We are out here, media for some reason is not. It's me and one other reporter basically trying to get the word out. The sheriff, the judge, they're saying, please make this go viral. Please let people see this. They need the word out. They are struggling. They don't. Just look at this situation. There's no bias here, friends. Look at all these people. It's hard to deny that there's a situation here. This is not about being human. This is not about being local. This is about a humanitarian crisis at this point. Several communicable diseases, from AIDS to COVID. And these people are corralled in a square mile of space. We've got 13,000 people out here. So we're gonna walk back to the truck now. Okay, thanks, Sheriff.
I said you are.
I am. I gotta go back to the truck. They leave me in the truck while the sheriff does business. Okay, so we're gonna finish this up here, you guys. Thank you for watching. Please share this. The sheriff and the county judge are asking that you share this. These are transport vehicles that are taking people out. And again, they are going to be removing people from this camp, and they're bringing them to different border processing facilities across the state of Texas. Many of them are already overrun as well. They're going all throughout the state because in the Del Rio sector, they have no space to process anybody anymore, and their detention facilities are also maxed out. So right now they're transporting, thank you very much, thank you. They're transporting these folks, and yeah, they've just got kind of an uphill battle here. And you can only put 50 people on a bus, right? So you've got 13,000 people still awaiting just to be transported. They haven't even been processed at all. They have a ticket, they have a number, that is it. There's no documentation of who those people are, nothing. And again, the Congressman Pfluger has been requesting the known terrorist list. For some reason, he says the administration will not give it to him. So we don't know who's over here, but we do know that there are several communicable diseases that are confirmed down here as well. Again, nearly 13,000 people are underneath the International Bridge here in Del Rio, and that is the people that are here in this camp. But if you go past this fence right here, The judge tells me there's 600 to 1,000 people that are over there not ticketed, and we don't know about. Let me flip this back around. You can see people, just steady stream of people walking back and forth here. So this is a scene that we are keeping an eye on. We have the chief of Border Patrol here, Raul Ortiz, has been working really hard. He was actually just promoted to this position last month, and he was the chief of Border Protection down here for a while, and he was actually getting ready to retire, and he got the call that it was needed for him to have boots on the ground here, and so he's doing his very best to communicate with the administration. And so I'm going to try to get some more information, and I'll be updating you guys throughout the day. Again, keep sharing this. This is not getting out, and this isn't normal. This isn't their normal immigration process. This isn't their normal immigration crisis, you guys. It's different. They're human beings. We gotta figure this out. We gotta figure this out. So take care, be well. I'll see you guys in a while.